Hey everyone, Brian Von VA here, back at it again with another set of D&D stories, and today we've got What's the Smartest Thing You've Ever Seen Someone Do in a D&D Campaign? Part 6. The DM made an automaton boss that was insanely overpowered because, well, he felt like killing the party, I guess. The warlock had the spell Shatter. Well, they asked the DM, how many parts are in this automation? There are around 1,000 individual parts to make it function this way. Are the parts magical? Is it like internal workings or carried around? Non-magical. The parts are separate but working together. Why? I cast Shatter at 5th level. Each pot takes 68 damage. If you've ever seen a person stare soullessly into the void, that was my DM at the moment. He rolls his save at disadvantage and fails. Take 33,000 damage. Oh my god. You're not allowed to play spellcasters anymore. Yeah, I would say so. Before we continue with the video, let's talk about the Eternium. These fantasy playing cards are a clash of titanic elements such as sea monsters combined with the beauty and power of fire, or the horrors of the undead fused with medieval punk styles. These playing cards are printed on a high-quality 310-gram blackcore paper with artwork done by the amazing Eddie Whipple. You have 3 mystical decks to choose from, the Dawn, the Dusk, and dead center a fusion called the Twilight. These also feature your standard 2 to Ace playing cards flavored within 4 unique fantasy races, the Bastions, the Restless, the Abyssals, and the Imperium. And by the way, there will only be 1,000 decks in production, not a single deck more. You can also purchase their limited edition coins too, which come in a variety of colors like bronze, copper, and silver, as well as the Black Noir coin, which will be limited to only 100 units and not a single unit more. With all of that said and done, if you're into dark fantasy like you've never seen before with beautiful artwork, check out the Eternium. Links are in the description below. No idea if you would consider this smart, but here we go anyway. So, we were pretty fresh into a new campaign where we were stranded at a pretty huge jungle island. After digging around a bit, we found a lost encampment with shattered tents, goods lying around, and frozen up dark red orcs all around. I was playing a greedy deep gnome rogue and immediately started scavenging for stuff. And sure enough, I found some pretty cool things. Some bombs and vials filled with dark ash looking powder. I shrugged and stuffed some of those in my bag and returned to my squad. Later, we encountered some kind of reptile humanoid tribe that was fighting against a giant dinosaur that was burning from the inside on a huge jungle clearing. We just chilled and watched for a bit, hiding in a corner waiting for what else would happen. The reptiles won the battle and took off. We followed them to a nearby cave entrance and waited for a bit. There were no guards outside, so we ventured inside to see what was going on. Marching a few hundred meters, the corridor led into a bigger cave, and we came across a huge wooden gate a bit to the left with said reptiles on top guarding the place. And to the right, we could see a little waterfall coming down from the reptile encampment. My buddy immediately took out one of the bombs we found and told us he wanted to blast the gate open and fight what was ever in there. It was an evil campaign, by the way. Well, I told him that I would like to scout the area first since I had a natural dark vision and good chances of not being seen in the rocky terrain due to my dark skin. Well, they agreed and waited for my return or my fuck up. Like Ezio Auditore and real luck in my acrobatics throws, I made it up the slippery rocks of the waterfall and ended up in a small underground stream that I could dive in due to my small gnome size, occasionally peeking out of the water to scout out the area. I could see some corridors heading deeper into the rock, some reptiles sitting around a fire, and some sleeping in a far corner of the cave. As I observed it, I had an idea arise in my head that I just had to try. I distracted the ones at the fire with a thrown pebble away from me and snuck to the sleeping bunch. I observed and chose the strongest looking of the sleepers, took out the vials with the ash-looking powder, and stuffed the whole thing in its nostril. After that, I quickly jumped back into the stream, letting it take me down the waterfall. Sure enough, with a few scratches, I made it out without being seen while havoc began to rise behind me. Oh, my idea was right. The powder was what mutates creatures into this fiery zombie-like beast that we saw back at the jungle clearing in the beginning. The one infected created 2 more by puking lava-like substances into its peers and killed 3 standing in shock nearby. Even though I kinda ruined the original plans of our DM to fight them properly, he quickly came up with cool ideas on how to proceed. Small props to him there. We waited outside the gate for screams and screeches to die out, while I could listen to a tirade of our main tank that I just robbed from a fun fight when a huge ogre that was originally thought of as a mini-boss bust through the wooden gate, burning reptiles clawing and climbing him. I quickly decided to call for this fool creature, and he really stopped and listened. After that, we helped him get rid of the monsters, and now we have a mini-boss pet that we equipped with a huge sword instead of a primal club. Gorgog is a cute fella that sees me as his newfound best friend. I ride him like an epic mount, shoot from his back, and let him carry huge things when needed. Only feeding this fool gets a problem sometimes since he doesn't want to hunt alone. Man, evil campaign? Evil campaign sounds like evil players too at this point. The big bad evil guy of the first dungeon on this campaign I played, I was a tiefling monk, was a bugbear. The dungeon was a mine taken over by goblins and the bugbear was their leader. They had kidnapped someone and went to save them. One of the character quirks I decided to have was that my character was obsessed with tea. So you're just being British. I got you. We reached said bugbear, and my teammates are gearing up for this big battle, and I asked, "Would you like to have some tea and sit down so we can discuss this?" Nat 20 persuasion. Ends up bugbear was an avid tea enthusiast as well. We convinced the bugbear to join us. He was meant to actually be the NPC boss fight, and the DM had to make a character sheet for him and play him in the campaign. He and my character ended up falling in love over the mutual adoration of tea, and later got married. My whole party spent 8k gold on 2 million ball bearings. Stuffed them into a bag of holding. When they saw the final boss, they opened and turned the bag inside out, flooding the room and the building with ball bearings, killing the final boss. 2 of the party members, and also nearly killing the other 2, of course. Never fucking underestimate ball bearings. My party bought a lot of rope and then realized, well, we had no weapons. Of course, we decided to go follow the side quest from pushing the limits of a side quest that we weren't supposed to go on. Meaning we, as a level 1 weaponless band of Dragonborn Sorcerer, Elven Ranger, and a human Paladin, found ourselves in a cave with 4 ogres and 7 orcs. After failing to do much damage, well, I had a bright idea. I blasted my acid breath, "Go Black Dragonborns!" right outside the entrance to create a pool, and my friends ran out and held a rope in front of the pool. I took a good deal of damage, but successfully stole one of the ogre's loincloths, and then ran out of the entrance, jumping past the rope. The enraged ogres followed and tripped over the rope, burning their eyes and bodies, as well as hitting each other. This didn't kill any of them, of course, but it did give us time to steal the weapons and beat them while these blinded prone ogres screamed and flailed about in a pool of acid. That kind of sounds like an evil thing to do. Those poor ogres. This story is from back when I first started Pathfinder. I love Pathfinder. We had a party of 3. A half-elf monk, myself, a human paladin of Emote, and another as a dwarven cleric. I was playing sword and board, and the dwarf used a long spear. Yes! Anyway, we are level 2. Eventually, we disable all traps in the corridor, only to be chased by a giant slime. Inside was a set of mithril full plate. We used one of the chained monk weapons as a trip and succeeded in getting the armor. That lasted me until level 7, when I finally switched to Elven Chainmail. I took the loss of AC due to my DM always underestimating how unkillable I was. It felt like cheating. I actually thought that the mithril would have went to the dwarf because dwarves love that. The paladin was about to enter a mono fight with an Oni. The rules were simple. No weapons. The first one to make the other one put a knee on the ground wins. Battle starts. Hey, your shoes are untied. You don't want to trip. If that actually worked. I was swallowed by a giant toad. It was taking damage every turn. I was almost dead when I asked, using my acrobatic skill, can I contort to reach my healing potions? The DM was confused but agreed, and once I healed, I asked, so, can I get my weapons too? Yes, I could. and I tore my way out of the frog, alive, unscathed, and victorious, and causing trauma to anyone out there who saw this happen. One of my players strapped a claymore mine to a drone to rescue the vital NPC who got separated from the party and failed his disguise check against a high-level boss who the party was disguised against. Flew the damn thing into the face of the boss, nearly killed them, then yeeted their way out of the underground base by stealing a jeep, another drone, and ramming the front gate down. And I thought the Claymore Roomba was fucking genius. A Claymore Roomba? That sounds so goddamn smart though. I need more details on the Claymore Roomba. Screw this story. This was a Pathfinder campaign I was running. I'm proud of you. At this point, they were around level 8 or 10. My players had been exploring a cave looking for a sacred statue to get a god to bless a scepter needed to slay an ancient vampire. They found the entrance to the tower in one of the tunnels. They started going down and found a lab with thousands of gold's worth of equipment and ingredients. The wizard thought he had scored big. As they proceeded upstairs, they discovered a permanent circle of teleportation with commands to travel to many of the locations the players had already been to, at which point the wizard told the group, "We need to put everything we took back. We do not want to piss this wizard off." He saved them some serious trouble. The tower was the retirement home of a level 21 chaotic neutral wizard and his wife and child. Yeah, you don't want to mess with a high-level spellcaster like that. They will get you back for it. One time, our party was confronted with an adamantine vault, a walk-in bank vault kind of affair. Tons and tons of metal worth hundreds of gold to the pound. We flat told the GM that whatever our quest was about is now about selling scrap adamantine. The GM groaned and had an NPC help us shave a couple £100 off the door, which actually ended up fetching us a good 20k or so. Just so we wouldn't spend the next 3 sessions dismantling his indestructible vault and breaking the world's economy. I once had a cursed shield on my paladin, +2 to AC, but the curse made any and all projectiles within 30 feet of me divert and hit me. A hail of arrows rolled an 18, enough to hit and kill our monk, and I asked the DM, "Is he within 30 feet of me?" The DM says, "Yes, why?" "Cursed shield, an 18 doesn't hit me." The party roars and high-fives me. Listen, that is the way you tank in any game. I am proud of this paladin. 10 out of 10. Hey everybody, Brian Von VA checking in after the vid. Please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, ring that bell, and of course, know that you, yes you, all of you out there are not only loved, but you're all worthy of a lot of life and a lot of joy. Be safe, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.